Высоко протекает река, по которой плывут облака. Каждый вечер отходит паром, но себя я не вижу на нем. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду, Мамаду. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду, Мамаду. За рекой заливные луга, где ничья не ступала нога. Мамаду, поскорей прилетай, отнеси меня в солнечный край. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду, Мамаду. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду, Мамаду. Может быть, Мамаду нет на свете, может быть, на другой я планете, может быть, это я Мамаду, может быть, я сейчас подойду. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду, Мамаду. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду. Я сижу на поляне, я пятно среди белых акаций, я жду Мамаду.
Of course I forget to unmute myself. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, good evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is in your part of the world. And as mentioned, we are back with Mechanicus. There we go. Let's just adjust it a little bit like that. Should be good enough. Now then, where were we last time? Last time, if you recall, we were going... Yes, a moral threat must be addressed, Magus. Your intervention is required. I remember that, Videx. But, first things first, we were going to go with this, with the option presented by Capra, because it gives us our third tech priest. Oh, and a Sicarian infiltrator, if that counts for something. So, consolidation. Subdomina Capra has requested aid in taking the pressure off her Skitari troops. Collapsing key areas of the Tomb of Acropis will hinder enemy movement and stop them from overwhelming the Skitarii. I don't believe we can upgrade any of our current tech priests. Well, actually we can. Either one, that is. Let's consider our options. So Mechanicus is mostly being leveled up in Dominus Discipline. Currently, that would be Angered Spirit, so Machine Spirit attacks deal +2 damage. If we were to look at Jeremiah, we would be leveling up his Lex Mechanic, so that would be Dead Analytics, +1 cognition point gained on killing a target. That is potentially very, very powerful. Especially considering Jeremiah has a good mix of ranged and melee options. Well, even though he's got just a basic power axe for now, and a phosphor blast pistol, because it is free to use. It is a combination of energy and physical damage, which is good for us. One thing we can also consider getting is Curatio Claw once we do upgrade him, so he is a little more self-sustained. That'd be a good point to consider. However, the Arc Scourge honestly turned out to be somewhat disappointing because of its short range, so we might need to swap it out for something better. Now, we already have Zenorite Microstubber for physical damage plus acid, so I suppose we can stick around a little bit longer with the Arc Rifle. Oh, wait, we cannot stick it in here, can we? We cannot, because that's 2 augment points, so we will need to level up Mechanicus in order to make use of it. Well, so be it. Who am I to question Omniscia's will? The machine spirit be angry, and I am but its humble interpreter. Now then, where were we? I think for this one we can give a try to our Skitarii Vanguard Alpha. The Taser Goad deals area damage. And speaking of Taser Goad, single target melee attack. Upon hitting target turns into a cone area attack. Triggers an opportunity attack because it's a melee weapon, and deals energy damage with its cone attack to chain targets. I suppose we can take 1 to give it a try, and the rest are servitors, naturally. Same canticles as before, and out we go. You do not relish this mission, Subdomina Capra. I ascertain this from your pupil dilation and nervous system stress levels. Even in victory, the men and women on the ground suffer, but that is not something I imagine troubles a magus. Some tech priests choose to excise the emotional centers of their brains, especially when they reach the rank of magus. I did not. Yes, I am certain we're not talking to the angry toaster from Old World Blues. Capra is more concerned with the well-being of her troops. I have fought under plenty of magi who had no emotion at the loss of men and women in combat. I am glad to know I am not doing that again. Oh, and machine spirits are, of course, varied. The toaster just has delusions of personality. Machine spirits do not. At least not that we know of. I am capable of quarantining emotions in my new revolts and choosing to experience them if they are beneficial. I am not ruled by them, but I am not ignorant of them either. That is why casualty rates on missions under my command are 11.7% below the average. I'll take that as a good omen. Well, a whole tenth less casualties than is the norm is a good sign, yes. Subdomina Capra, how does your attempt of establishing a foothold on Silva Tenebris with our main forces? Or rather, how goes your attempt? Operations in the Tomb of Acropis are continuing, Magus, but the enemy is pressing our perimeter hard. It is impossible to explore the tomb if all my troops are tied up keeping themselves from being overrun. I see. The enemy is aware of our presence. It seems like it. They're not just attacking at random. The Necrons are exerting pressure at key points, hoping we will falter. Logic demands a response. Ignoring this predicament invites defeat. Your solution? With your help, collapse the tomb on them first. I have plotted 4 locations in the Tomb of Acropis. If these are made impassable with demolition charges, the Necrons won't have the run of their own tomb anymore. My cohort will see this done. Once the key points are blocked, the Necrons will be funneled into our crossfires. They'll spend a lot more lives testing our defenses. I'm not certain the Necrons can be accurately said to have lives. Well, whatever they have, they're going to lose a lot of them. And that's a good attitude. Also note that our Skitarii Vanguard Alpha is costlier to deploy. 2 cognition points instead of 1. Now, we are gonna need to get over here. The shortest possible route is, of course, gonna be here. Point of interest, glyph, point of interest, objective. Alternatively, we can go through point of interest, point of interest, point of interest, point of interest. A room slower, or rather a room longer, but should be sufficient enough. I'm personally leaning more towards the second option, so let's see what happens. Chastisement of the Menials on the Caestus Metallicon will follow. Failure of maintenance observations inexcusable. The detonator of this charge appears to be a dud. Some Menial must have neglected to perform the required anti-corrosion rites. Use a replacement detonator in the hope of the whole batch is not defective. Detonate the explosive charge with gunfire. That's risky. Will damage our cohort most likely. Attempt to replace the corroded parts of the charge with the cohort's tech knowledge. Possible, but we'll lose time. So we'll go for the quick one. Replace. The cohort replaces the detonator with basic tech rights. However, when the charge goes off, the detonator proves to have been poorly calibrated, resulting in an explosion that flashes out of the target chamber with a tremendous din. The explosion is even louder than normal and must have alerted nearby Necrons to the cohort's position. Ah well, you can't win them all. Up next. That's the first level. Fascinating. Could this be some event from the distant history of the Necron race? I have heard rumors of such a mythology among the theories about the Necrons, but confirming it could be a breakthrough. On the wall of this chamber is inscribed a complex design resembling a star map, but the stars are depicted being consumed by ill-defined entities of swirling light and shadow. Record the inscription in pictographs, but spend no more time here than necessary. Very worrying. I thought this was a chance to be the first to reap knowledge of the Necron's myths. I will think twice before seeking out such things in the future, Mechanicus. The pictographs transmitted to the Caestus Metallicon prove grainy and low resolution, and nothing can be made of them. The cogitators used to hold them, however, rapidly degrade and must be quarantined and destroyed. Frickin' Necron tech sorcery. Several Necron skulls are carved into the walls of this chamber, all arranged looking at a central pedestal holding up a globe. Well, if they're looking at the globe, that means the globe is significant. However, I sense a trap, so look at the faces. The eyes of the Necron heads appear to be hollow. On closer inspection, each conceals a weapon muzzle. The cohort watches for signs of a booby trap and note a subtle pressure plate in the floor around the globe. They move on with a new understanding of Necron cunning. Simple, yet effective. And we get some new cognition points. Rather, some free cognition points. Now we'll raise the alert level to 2. The Skitarii units holding the Tomb of Acropis are suffering communications glitches, and one unit has run a cable to their command post to stay in touch. This cable runs across the chamber ahead, and it is obvious it has become severed, potentially cutting the thing off from the rest of the Skitarii force. Honestly, for our boys in red, we go the extra mile. Fix the cable and check the surrounding area of the tomb to find the Skitarii unit and see how it is faring. The cohort repairs the cable and spends the next while searching for the Skitarii unit. They find the Skitarii lying dead at their post, victims of a Necron ambush, their bodies sheared open by a gauze fire. Knowing their efforts were in vain, pushes the cohort dangerously close to despair. We're gonna avenge them right now. Starting out strong, with some Canoptech Scarabs to keep us company. Anyone else? First we gotta survive 4 rounds, I see. So we got us some Scarabs here and there. And a warrior here. And some cognition points to grab around here. So, Jeremiah, remember, card gods bed for health. And Skitarii Vanguard Alpha here. At the very least, there is no one else around to tell us, "Shot hammock." Good strike. We will need to heal you up. Else we're gonna be paying for trying... Ow. For fixing you up. Same goes here. Still, not as bad as it could have been. And strike now. -1 Canoptech Scarab. Wonderful. Stay where you are. At least this acid deals only 1 damage. There's 1 cognition point back. Do we use the Sanctus canister first? Not yet. First of all, we get here, grab another cognition point. We check. You, no armor, splendid. That means if we are lucky, rather if we pop the Sanctus canister, we move up to you, and you are as good as dead. See? Also, while we're at it, Phosphor Blast Pistol on that one. You like to see it. And we move just a tiny bit closer. Now, in order to use the arc rifle, we're gonna be grabbing that cognition point and blasting at that one. There we go. Might as well start moving closer to this console so we can study it. And then, next round, we can heal up our Vanguard with the Curatio Claw. Ooh, there it is. Life forms, sudden appearance on Auspex, unexpected. Diagnosis, possible tech, form list, teleportation, warp travel, unknown. This is no form of warp travel. The Telepathica board has reported no disturbance near the planet the whole time we've been here. Alternate dimensional shift, teleportation, unknown. Teleportation tech 2 volatile, no power signs, no lightning, no singe marks. Tomb too deep for teleportation. Alternate dimensional shift, unknown. We know there is only the immaterium and real space. Scriptures have written about only these two for millennia. Nothing. Conclusion. Unknown. Logged. Disappointment. Desire for answers must be fulfilled. And congratulations, Deathmark, you've become our priority target. However, before that, we're gonna need to keep that flayed one in check. Yep, teleports as soon as takes damage and goes on Overwatch. Nasty bastards. Oh, and still gotta do something about that acid of yours. Now, can we grab? We cannot grab without being hit by the Overwatch. Still, you gotta do it. Shot. 3 damage. That's Overwatch taken care of. Now we can at least go over here, get rid of that flayed one. Get our cognition point back. Blast it away. I will need to heal you up for that one. So, Litany of Life, here you go. Also save us some Blackstone on repairs. Now, Manarius, you absolutely can hit that death mark from this position. Open up with your Xenorite Macrostubber. If anything, the acid will also provide a nice distraction. But you, absolute bastard, will also be placed in Overwatch, huh? Well, I'll stay right here. Phase shift. Another Overwatch. There's the acid. Down it goes. Necrons reanimate 1 turn faster. Who do we have here? Another flayed one, another warrior. Nothing too serious. I think we can deploy a servitor over... Oh no. Over here. If only to soak up bullets. Now, Vanguard Alpha. I'm gonna need you over here, just be careful. Also, your acid is gone, which is perfect. Now, we go over here. Not quite enough to get to that obelisk, so I suppose we'll just have to check for that. Aha, physical armor. Well, good thing we have Skitari nearby. Otherwise, out of range. Unfortunate. That's it for your turn then. Gotta spend that cognition point to get here. What do we have? More Blackstone. And you? No armor. Wonderful. And let's get that cognition point back. Now you, Servitor, will stay over here and see to it that we don't get any nasty surprises. Oh, and I almost forgot about that death mark. It will need to be dealt with. 2 more warriors. Fascinating indeed. There it is, kill all enemies. Deploy another servitor over here, because he will need to smash down that console eventually. And we are going to be dealing with that flayed one for now. Down it goes like a sack of potatoes. We move up to give us some nice opportunity attacks. Oh, but wait. Now down we go, unfortunately. Such is life. Now the Power Axe would have been decent if we had the Machine Spirit charged up for it, so I suppose we can simply blast away with the Phosphor Blast Pistol for now. Or first we take a quick detour here, grab this Cognition Point. Then we go over here, grab that Cognition Point, and now blast with the Phosphor Blast Pistol. The Servitor will kick that one for us. It's partially what he is here to do. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you, Deathmark Dearest. I'll just have to spend an extra Cognition Point to get to you, but you are worth it. Believe you me. It's maybe Maybelline. Now, do I burn another Cognition Point to get closer to where I need to be? Yes, because only the Servitors are left acting, and we are not in a position to be choosy. So we'll leave it at that. Then we'll pick up everything else. Now, will the damage go through? The damage did not go through. Unfortunate. I will have you flogged for this, if you survive the combat. For now, however, you will have to pick up the trash and throw it away. Like that. Wonderful. If you survive, you'll get extra machine oil. Oof. Unpleasant. Do we deploy the last Servitor? I think we do. Right here. It's only a Cognition Point after all. And they're made to be shot at. Now, what about you? Also physical armor. I guess you've heard about this axe of ours. However, if we go over here and slice you open like that, almost. We'll get you on the next turn. Now, we go over here, we grab this Cognition Point, very vital. We check your stats. Energy armor, very good. That's why we have the Zenerite Macrostubber at the ready. Now, are you prepared to meet your non-existent gods, Metal Man? You'll meet them soon enough. You keep blasting away, or rather wailing away, at the console. See? You can do it. Especially when I tell you to. Fear will keep you in line. Then again, you are a servitor. You do not experience fear. Now make sure this one does not get up. You'll do it soon enough. And you distract the other one. Thank you. Well, yes. The dogs do be barking out there, or rather, a dog. She's chatty like that. That's why I like her. I suppose we can go for that. Hopefully it's not too distracting, by the way. I do like her, but then again, I hope she's not too intrusive. Now, if we get over here, we are in range to use the arc rifle. Well, yes, you are used to barking. No idea about the other ones. I can any on the server. What? No, I need you to target this one. And... yeah, blast away that one too. We don't want him waking up after all. You keep wailing on the console. Unfortunate. And you stay here and hopefully distract the Necron warrior long enough. Oh, of course, that bastard went back up. At least he's only got 3 HP. Oh, but he shoots. Jeremiah, hold on. Distraction servitor went well. And now I am going to erase your face. I am disappointed. And we are just going to grab another cognition point. I'll get you, and I'll make it look like a bloody accident. I'm even going to spend an extra cognition point to get you, because we've dilly-dallied here long enough. That was even a crit. Then again, I probably should have also gotten that console, but once we get more people around, this will be helpful. The last demolition charge brings down another section of the tomb. The most heavily used routes around the tomb are now cut off, and the Necrons will be forced to fight on Skitarii terms from now on. Servants of the Omnissiah will live now, who would otherwise die, Magus. My thanks for sending your tech priests to the aid of my troops. We will profit nothing on this world if our troops on the ground cannot keep the tombs open until we can ascertain the threat they contain. It is simple logic, Subdomina. Maybe, but nevertheless, I thank you. Few Skitarii have much reason to expect the tech priest to come to their aid so directly. We're used to being disposable. My emotional cores return dismay and anger whenever a Skitarii is described as disposable. No one is disposable so long as they do the Omnissiah's work. Thus it is written. And the servitors are not disposable because their job is to catch those Gauss beam rifles, or other Gauss beam shots. Oh, I didn't count the death mark as enemy killed. But we now have a third tech priest. And a new canticle, Litany of Life, which will heal for 10 HP. And another one, Chant of the Remorseless Fist. The next attack will break 2 physical armor. Third one, Taming of the Machine Spirit. Max the Machine Spirit of all weapons. Very good. And Tutelage of the Momentum. Plus 5 meters movement for 1 round. A bit situational. But we now have a whole host of missions to look at. Not the secret one yet. let's look at our third one, Magus Leonardus. I think we ought to turn you into an engine seer, because we will need people who know how to heal. We'll start with cleansing and ointments. Cleanse the target of any negative effects, and negative effects last one less turn. And I think we're going to give you torso augment. Here you go. As for your weapons, I'm thinking we can give you a Zenorite Macro Stubber. And, do we go for the Curatio Claw? I suppose so. So, in that case, we go for Phosphor Blast Pistol to save up, to have some cognition point economy, and we place the Curatio Claw, because you have become our designated healer. Manarius will be our secondary healer, at least for now. And we'll see how it goes next. Also, just so that we have seen it all, there is the Sicarian Infiltrator that we've unlocked. Now, Jeremiah. There. So at the start of a battle, the Infiltrator appears untargetable until they perform an attack, and his funky little SMG deals 2 to 4 physical damage to target. So what missions do we have next? Find any archaeotech from the previous excavation. We'll get Phosphor Serpenta, Cognitive Canister, and some Blackstone. Find and destroy the transmission source. Arc Pistol, which is another free weapon. Cog Occultaris, and some Blackstone. Next, liking this one even more, because our cognition gauge will increase. We'll get Sicarian Rust Stalker, so a little less Blackstone, but still. Always happy to see it. Next, Phosphor Blaster. That's a hefty one. Shoots multiple projectiles in a cone area, reveals target statistics, deals 2 to 4 energy damage to targets in an area. Hopefully it's got more range than the Arc Scourge. Definitely has the same cognition cost. We'll see if it's useful. More Blackstone payoff. This is our first boss battle, the Lord Astronomer. We'll get Eradication Ray. 4 cognition points. Fires in a straight line, passing through all units. Deals 7 to 9 energy damage to targets. Noise Reductor. That one is just on cooldown, revealing enemy statistics in all enemy statistics in a circle area. Troop deployment cost reduced by 30%. That would be helpful. We'll meet Immortals, Warriors, and Lord Astronomer Acropis. Maybe a little later. And finally, there is the mission from what was it called? Heretic DLC. Enemies Closer. Sub-Tribune Xerxes requests assistance in putting down a rebellion among the lower ranks in the Caestus Metallicans Enginarium decks. We'll get Gauss Gamma Pistol, 2 cognition points, single target attack, ignores armor, deals 4 to 6 damage to target. That could be useful. We'll get Skitarii Vanguard unlocked, and some Blackstone payoff. We'll of course be dealing with heretics. So let's go to that one first. That should not contribute to the Necron Awakening. So all 3 of you are going aboard. Some Servitors. Maybe a Sicarian Infiltrator to see how it fares. Not enough Blackstone. 1 short. Well, Servitors it is, just to economize. Your attention, Magus. My attention is on Silva Tenebris, Xerxes. I must trust you to fulfill your duties as sub-tribune without my oversight. We cannot neglect the security on board the Caestus Metallicon. I bring news of a violent uprising among the lower ranks of the tech priests and menials on the Enginarium decks. An uprising? This is the last thing we need. I permit myself to experience frustration at this news. Your solution, sub-tribune? There is but one solution to malcontents and rebellion, Magus. It is as the discipline of physics states. Force always wins. Well, if you say so, tech wizard man. If you say so. The dorsal Enginarium decks are in the hands of the malcontents. We must move against them now and exterminate the seeds of heresy. We should remember that these are our people, Sub-Tribune. When they raise arms against us, they cease to be ours, Magus. They become pawns of the enemy. And if they fight against my tech priests, I shall direct them to fight back. I hope your aggression will not be justified, but if it is, I shall be ready. The rebels have broken the servitors' loyalty protocols. They defy their original programming. If evidence of their malfeasance be needed, here it is. Let this blasphemy be met with fire and blade. There may be a more subtle way of dealing with this issue, Sub-Tribune. I advise that the malcontent does not deserve subtlety, Magus. The rebels are supported by a host of servitors, which form the majority of their firepower. These servitors must be dealt with if the nascent rebellion is to be put down. Let's see. Information warfare. The servitors can be reset via the Enginarium's cogitators. Hack into the cogitators and reinstate the servitors' loyalty protocols. But where are the guarantees they won't be hacked back? Decapitation. Kill the leader of the rebels so their control of the servitors will end. Always go for the killing blow. Justice through firepower. The servitors are beyond help. Destroy them all and deny the rebels their firepower. Leaning towards decapitation on that one. A high-risk strategy, Magus. I hope the Omnissiah guides you through. Those are my orders. Our objective is to eliminate the rebel ringleader. The layout of the Enginarium deck suggests several different approaches to assaulting the rebel positions. Up the middle. There is no time to employ subtlety. Send the tech priest straight through the main blast doors to engage the enemy head-on. Flanking maneuver. Send a cohort to flank the rebels and avoid notice until they can assault the enemy up close. Shooting gallery. Engage the enemy at a distance to take full advantage of the cohort's ranged weapons. I think the best approach in this case would be flanking maneuver. An excellent gambit, Magus. Hold fire until you can see the lenses of their eyes. The tech priest cohort uses the labyrinthine architecture of the ship's Enginarium decks to assault the rebels from an unexpected quarter. The cohort has the chance to strike a blow against the rebel positions before engaging the enemy. All out. The opportunity to attack first should not be ignored. Attack immediately in full force before the fire team is discovered. Go loud. A group of servitors near a fuel container make a tempting target. Silent strike. A rebel tech priest patrolling near the cohort's point of entry. They should be eliminated quietly before combat is joined. I'm thinking we are gonna be staying silent until further notice. Let's see here. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully I'm still live. Hope I'm still live. Now if we adjust it like that. A little to the left. Okay. Good to hear that I'm still live. What I'm not happy about is that there are only you watching, but details. Now then. As my dog helpfully suggests, we go loud. In the crucible of justice, all are made pure by the Omnissiah's flame. It is rare to see a metaphor made so dramatically real, Magus. The fuel container erupts in a roar of flame, incinerating several of the servitors. The rebels are thrown into disarray by the sudden immolation of several of their living weapons. That's 2 Xenarite servitors taken care of. And now comes the battle. Destroy this target. Now we start all around. But of course we need to take care of only this one. So 2 of us over here. Well, no, then I would rather see you all over here. Because we will need to get to the target as soon as possible. And here come the servitors. Now tell me your stats. And take some damage in the process. Respectable 2 physical and 1 energy armor. We're gonna need to get some cognition points for that one. And that is a bit of a mistake on my part, because I do need those cognition points and I need them soon. Now we will get 1 cognition point soon enough, so in the meantime let's just get comfortable. These tech priests will take their sweet time to get to us. So do these servitors. Even if they have the sprint, they won't be able to get to us in time. Yes, keep coming to me. No. We can only collect 1 cognition point, so might as well go for this one. We can afford to bunch up for now. And open fire with your phosphor blast pistol. No armor to speak of. As expected. No. If you'll excuse me for a moment. Unfortunately, she is bored. Because, well, the only one to keep her company is the cat. And as you can imagine, he does not make for a compelling... what was the word I was looking for? The compelling... dialogue holder. Now, I will grab all 3 of those cognition points. Thank you kindly. And what I will do is first get over here. Yeah, conversation partner. That's also a good word. I would cut into you. You're still standing. Should probably pop the Sanctus canister to finish you off. But oh well, next time. You'll hit me. That comes through. Only 1 damage, thankfully. You will get a little closer to us. You will also get closer to us, which is what I was hoping for. You've got an axe, as is the other tech priest. This is a precarious situation we find ourselves in, but nothing we cannot deal with. Anyone else looking for a fight? Didn't think so. Now we can deploy our distraction servitor, Irons. However, we cannot deal any damage with him yet because they are untraceable and will continue to be so until they make their attack, as is evident by their aura. Now, if we take this arc rifle, we cannot shoot it because our other servitor, our other tech priest is blocking the damage, so the only thing we can do in this case is to shoot that other tech priest. It is a bit of a waste, so maybe we hold off on that for a moment. Or we simply get into a better position over here. Right, cannot attack yet. Yes, you are getting closer. However, I'm not intimidated by you yet. What I am intimidated by is me being unable to shoot you back. I suppose I can endure this one. Smack. Oof. That's a bit painful. But nothing we cannot endure. Can we kill that one? We did. Very good. Might as well heal yourself up. Did it get rid of the acid? No. Now we did get rid of the acid. Very good. And stay here. Now, Jeremiah. Can you hit the target? Not yet. So, we'll have to delay our turn. Down goes our servitor. Next turn. It did give us one cognition point. And that's all I could ask of him. There's the second strike. That's also a critical, but you should reveal yourself now. Hey, stop jabbing. I am somewhat disappointed with my choice of loadout. We are getting dangerously close to losing one or two magi. Especially since they dodge our attacks like that. I think we should rethink our approach. I should have said... No, wait. Wait. No need to give up just yet, fast as... After all, I still have some emergency canticles. We only panic when the situation is dire enough. And if it is dire enough, I will load another save. Now, here is a little something I am going to let you in on. Perhaps best illustrated by a particular meme. which I've had saved over here somewhere. If you give me a second, I will pull it up and you will see what I mean. It is over here. And there it is. Now, I am currently struggling very hard to not abandon it all and start anew from absolute scratch. Because, once again, every failure, even perceived, will send me into an existential spiral because I made a mistake. So in that case, I think we'll just roll back to an earlier save and not overthink it. This will mean we'll have to go back a little more and consider our investments. So once again, the Arc Scourge will have to go. And it will be replaced by something else. Most likely that arc rifle. However, in order to get the arc rifle, we first upgrade, and now we can stick it in. Next time we do need to find you a suitable power axe that carries no strings attached to it. So once again, we go here. We try not to lose any more precious blackstone on repairs. And remember to use our canticles. So we'll just quickly click through this conversation. And back we go. This time I think we'll take a more direct route. However, this time of course means a new map, so we'll have to see how it develops. Now where is it this time? This time it is over here, so the nearest route will be 1, 2, 3. Just how I like it. This time I think we can go for just repair. Attempt to replace the corroded parts of the charge with the cohort's tech knowledge. The cohort uses tech rights to replace corroded wires and blesses the work with a tap of the anointed pneumo wrench. The detonator works perfectly, vindicating their faith in the teachings of the Omnissiah. Wonderful. Point 2. I think we can go for a quick fix. Fix the cable as best you can this time. Using basic tech rituals, the cohort repairs the cable. They can ill afford the time spent, but can go on, knowing they have fulfilled their duty both to the Omnissiah and to their fellow embattled units. Even though they're already dead. But we don't know that. Maybe this time they'll live. There's the first level. Now, we are not gonna archive, but I think we can examine. We can afford it for now. No, she does not want attention, she just wants to yap with the neighbors. Yap being quite literally in this case. They're all bored, and it's hot, and they're all bothered. Even though she shouldn't be bothered until 12. So yes, this time I think we can go with examine. Be thou wary of the works of the alien, for their presence is poison and their every word deceit. Gathalamorians 94-3. Mark those words well, Magus. As the cohort approaches the inscriptions, their rad tags flare red, indicating an unexpectedly high radiation level. They rapidly withdraw from the chamber, having narrowly avoided contamination from the strange images. Cosmic radiation rays are no joke. Now then. Same map. So I'm thinking we just get to this corner first in order to deal with any well, first grab that console, bash it down so that we can reduce the Tomb's Awake level a little more, and then we deal with a death mark that pops up over here. In order to do that, Jeremiah, you will go here, backed up by Vanguard Alpha. Monarius, you stay over there to deal with that warrior, backed up by a servitor. This should be good enough. At least for now. That's a nasty critical. One Necron Scarab down. 2 down. 2 down. 3 down? No. We've exhausted our opportunity attacks. The acid will need to be dealt with in short order. Maybe next time. That's 2 damage dealt. You have a turn. Get some damage. Now the servitor will stay here as a head of welcoming committee. Monarius, I need you over here. First of all, you grab that cognition point. You check this one. No armor. Very good. So blast away with your Xenarite Macrostopper. 3 damage, but that counts for something. Oh, and heal yourself up with a Curatio Claw. We get 1 cognition point back. We grab another cognition point here. We whack this scarab. No witnesses. We get to the console. Grab the black stone and then we pound down on it. Even with something as minuscule as this. Here comes our first part. Oh, it's just the 2 Necron warriors for now. Not deploy any servitors for now, but then again, we can do it. 1 over here, just as a distraction. Now Vanguard Alpha will get over here. He's still the head of a welcoming committee. We do some damage, hopefully. We'll find out in a bit. Only 1 damage. Unfortunate. You take 4 in exchange and 1 cognition point. That's all you need to do. Now, how much health do you have? 3. If we are very lucky, you will die next turn. We do not have such luck yet. However, the Necron goes down. Second one shoots our Skitari. A little unpleasant. Getting here. We whack another one. And we get into position over here. Yeah, over here. Because if we recall, the death mark will come up either here or here. We'll see how the situation develops either way. Then again, we can go over here and then shoot with the arc rifle. Or that should be, yes. A little wasteful, I suppose. But it'll get the job done. Now, will you be so kind as to whack this one? Also grab that extra cognition point so that we have something. Shoot more. Now full damage will be able to go through. They do be yapping out there. 2 more warriors, which means the death mark will arrive in the 3rd pack. Do we deploy the last servitor? No, not yet. We will, however, move the Vanguard Alpha a little out of the way because I do not want it to die just yet. Here, I'm thinking. You stay put. You go down. Thank you kindly. And you shift position so that you are still in the line of fire. Wonderful. 2 down. 2 to go. There goes the shot. That finishes off the servitor. 1 more cognition point for us. Now, Mechanicus. Grab another one. This will be a bit of a waste, but still. You do that. Heal up the Vanguard, because we need him operational. And see about our newcomers. Energy armor. The Xenorite macro stubber will come in handy soon enough. And that one will be dealt with soon enough as well. Speaking of, physical armor, as expected. Grab that CP quickly. Oh, there we go. I did say it at some point. Shoot the console. 1 damage, 2 damage. Very nice. And now we come up and whack it. That should reduce the awakening a little bit. It'll go back up soon enough. Yep, like that. But at least we've mitigated the damage a little bit. Here comes the death mark. Here comes the death mark. Unknown teleportation means. We'll find out what is that at some point. And now we need to kill all of them. Easier said than done, but such is our fate. Now next, death mark will be the one to move. So we better get into position. At least over here. So that we can chase it down next time. You, however, will get into position to meet the flayed one. Or the death mark will shoot you. That's gotta be worth something as well. Now it shifts away to these 2 warriors. Okay, Now you'll take the bullet. It shifts now. Didn't shift. I guess it will shift next turn. Up come the Necrons. Now, if we go over here, we should still be in range to fire off a shot of the arc rifle. Yep, this should ideally kill off one of them. That was, of course, ideally, so we can settle for that one. You will be going down the next turn. Now, here's how we're gonna do this. Manarius, or excuse me, Jeremiah, will finish off that Necron. Bit of a waste of a machine spirit, but still. The less there are of them, the better. Then we go over here, and we'll let the flayed one come to us. Skitarii Vanguard is in a precarious position where he will go down no matter what we do. So I suppose we'll stick him over here and hope he will catch some bullets instead of the Magus. The Magus asks for time, and I have none to give. There it is, that's the shot from the death mark. It shifts. Cheeky. Here comes the flayed one. It whacks us a little bit. Not too serious. Another shot from the Necron. 3 damage. 3 damage. Shot from the second Necron. 3 damage. 2 damage. Still manageable. We're just gonna need to pop our Litany of Life Canticle. And now the arc rifle will kill the both of you. Both of them. Now you take your pills. Will you shift? No. But I did break your Overwatch. And that means I can hurt you. Also, good on us to grab all of those cognition points. Now, here's a hint. Three damage, acid, perfect. Oh, fine. Stay over there like the little bitch you are. You, however, will be going down unilaterally. Fine. I guess I'll just grab that cognition point. And then I'll see what kind of man you are. But again, you're not a man. You're a skeleton pretending to be a man. All the same to me. Now we get over here. We whack both of them. Not catching the bullet just yet. There goes the shot. Only 2 damage. Acceptable. Now you teleport away like the skeleton you are. And you go down? No, we disrupt your Overwatch. Now, if we can get to that... If only we had the Curatio Claw on you. Jeremiah. That proved it a little easier. However, we'll grab what we can, specifically that cognition point. And take our chances with the arc rifle. This will hurt us a little bit. By a little bit I mean, of course, 2 damage, but that was good enough because both of them come down. Hooray for us. Now, that should be minus 80. We get some Blackstone back, based on how much health was left. And now the game decides to count the death mark. Very strange indeed. We grab our litanies. And now, let's think about our newcomer, newcomer, in quotation marks, Leonardus. We can technically turn him into an engine seer once again, but we are in dire need of some more firepower. So maybe this time we can go for an explorator. We'll grab the neospheric scan. We'll give you the power axe. We upgrade you one more time, and we give you leg augments. That should be good enough for now. Oh, and I suppose we can also give you the... not the Omnispecs, but I suppose... just a macro stubber. Or Xenorite macro stubber, because it is strictly better. Just so that you have some ranged firepower to your name. Now, we save here so that we are spared from the indignity of what happened previously. And we try another mission, hopefully this one, which will increase our cognition scale. Now, which one was it? No, not the boss encounter. This one, Protection Detail. A unit of Skitarii escorting a topographical surveying device has become trapped in the tomb of Agrelek. Subdomina Kepra has requested a cohort reach the unit and save the Oculus Topographus. We'll have Immortals, Flayed Ones, Canoptech Acanthrites, and Warriors to face. But we'll increase our cognition gauge, get Sicarian Raw Stalkers unlocked, and earn us some Blackstone. Once again, all 3. And this would be as good of an opportunity as any to test out Sicarian Infiltrators. So this one and 2 Servitors. We'll replace Litany of Life with a better one. Cant of the Craft, I'm thinking, remains the same. As is the Litany of Electromancer. Off we go. We have a problem, Magus. It is doubtful you would seize my attention with such alacrity where they are going to plan, Subdomina. One of my Skitarii units is escorting an Oculus Topographus to produce fuller interior scans of the tomb of Agrelek. They have become bogged down by Necron attacks and are cut off. They will surely perish if they do not get immediate support. And the Oculus? It will be lost too. And yes, I am aware it is worth a lot more than any of my soldiers' lives. Smart approach. Very smart. And I do mean it. The last communications from the Skitarii said they were under heavy fire and trying to prepare a defensive position. Since then, they've gone dark. They're either dead or the architecture of the tomb is interfering with their comms again. Both possibilities reduce the percentage chances of the Oculus Topographus being recovered. Which is why I need your tech priests on this, Magus. We have to move with speed and a hell of a lot of firepower. That I can supply. We advance immediately. Yes, Magus. Thank you, Magus. Now, where do we need to go? find and save the Oculus Topographus, which is over here. The shortest possible route is glyph, be a point of interest, point of interest. And I don't think we can afford to go even an extra room more. So first of all, glyph room. What do we have? That one is healing. That one, I don't remember what. So that is... some blackstone. Very nice. What do we have here? The corpse of one of the Skitari squad lies at the entrance to this chamber, evidently cut down by Necron fire while trying to provide a rear guard for the rest of the unit. Recover his gear for reuse. Should increase the Necron initiative in the next encounter. Mark the passing. Pray for his mortal soul. Cleanse. Burn the corpse to put it beyond the use of the enemy. I am thinking we go with Mark the Passing for this one. The cohort says a few words of prayer for the fallen Skitari. Though many have and will fall in these tombs, there is no reason to eschew basic rites of passing for this one. The cohort takes solace from the fact that if they were to fall, someone might perform the same service for them too. That was a bit of an incorrect choice, but, well, what can you do? It's one of the Oculus Topographus' beacons. It deploys them to help it scan an area. It could already have started mapping the tomb. There could be more nearby if you think it's worth finding them. A deployable beacon lies at an intersection of passageways. The Necrons might be interested in the beacon too. Booby-trap it to punish the Necrons for their inquisitiveness. I don't think it'll work. Search for more beacons and recover them. The data within them might be valuable. Reasonable. Or do not search for more beacons. The data they might contain is not worth holding up the mission. I think beacon data will be worth it. The cohort searches the area and locates 2 more beacons, pausing to extract the information from them. The Necrons, however, are closing in and quickly become aware of the cohort's location. Yes, I think it was worth it. Well, in we go. Necron awake, Tomb Awake level 2. Still should be tolerable. And there is the Immortal. New template detected. Observing. Excitement statement. How glorious. The Xenos vary their weapons. Plus Tesla weapon tech. They do not show signs of Promethium flamer tech, which only shows their inferior steps in technological advancement. I recall that in Xenos and the Cant V00101001, the Xenos... Not now, Videx. We've dealt with Immortals for a while now. They're proving to be a worthy threat. Now they have a separate weapon pattern. This is most concerning for our troops, sire. Troops are of little concern. Mission is always priority over bio-life forms. How thoughtful of you, Redditus. Well, got a scanner destroy that console. And there is indeed a lot of them. There's the Immortal backed by 2 warriors. Another warrior here and a flayed one. This will be a fight through and through. Now we can of course take a shortcut through this platform, which might not be the worst idea. The Immortals will have reduced range compared to warriors because Tesla weaponry is more of an area weapon, kind of like our own arc kind of like our own arc weaponry. So I think for this one we can deploy closer to the platform, all 3 of us, and we'll throw in the Sicarian Infiltrator over here just so that it can provide distraction when need be. Now there are of course some ports from which Scarabs theoretically can pop out, but I don't think there were Scarabs specified in this mission description. So we'll see how it goes. Infiltrator, to your post. Stay right there. I was wrong. They do have respectable damage and reduce movement. In that case, 14 health, 3 physical armor. Yeah, Leonardus is definitely not dealing with that one. We should be getting... First of all, we are grabbing all of those cognition points, because we need them. And now we're getting on the platform, even if it means burning a few. Now how about you? No armor? Very nice. Which means arc rifle time. Especially if I were to hit you too. Positives all around. But I suppose that one was in cover, so did not hit you. Then again, do bunch up. There come the scarabs. I don't think we'll need to deploy the servitor just yet. The immortal stays where it is. We'll probably shoot Leonardus unless we hide behind that column. Then again, we can throw the servitor down just to get that little bit of CP back. That could work. So we just go over here. Hopefully the Sicarian infiltrator will not get affected by this. And we are just going to pass on through. You are dealing physical damage, right? Yep, physical damage, so you're not shooting just yet. There's the immortal firing. Movement reduced. 1 cognition point back. Now, Leonardus. If you were to get over here and cut down this warrior, it is possible, but will require a good roll. So we do not need you just yet to do that. So you can hide behind the servitor for now. 3 damage, 4 damage, critical. Unfortunate. But there's our cognition point back. Now, Jeremiah. I'm gonna need you to get in melee range with that flayed one and pop a Sanctus canister. This will be worth it, I'm sure of it. We're mostly doing this for the increased damage and crit chance. So, how this works, and it worked gloriously. Now stay put. Meanwhile, Menarius will get over here. Or, no, over here. And heal up Jeremiah a little bit. Oh, but now it's our newcomer getting shot at, which is unpleasant. And of course you are getting repaired. Which means now it's time to reveal yourself. Become distraction. Hey, look at me, look at me! 2 damage, movement reduced. Now what about you? 9 health, 2 energy armor. We cannot use anything on you yet, so retreat for now. Down you go. Not quite. Gotta be something more potent than there. 2 damage. Now, where was I? We do that. We grab all of the cognition points. We gently walk up to you and persuade you to go down. Like that. Thank you. Stay put. In the meantime, Cataptech Scarabs to deal with so that they do not heal anyone. Like that. Very good. And turn. I suppose we can also take a shot with the arc rifle. Like so. The Immortalist does not go down just yet, but will soon enough. Acid will kill you off. And you, I suppose... we'll finish you off like that. Just so that you don't get any ideas. Now let's move towards that console. Oh, more Cataptech Scarabs. I guess that means we need to hurry. Might as well deploy that last Servitor. Go for the Flechette Blaster on that one. 3 damage, but it's a distraction. Next time, if we're lucky, we'll get to use its Machine Spirit. Just gotta be cognizant of this. Nope, unfortunately it goes down. Oh well, the brave infiltrators served us well. As well as one could in these circumstances. Now, can you cut down these Scarabs? I don't think you will, but you did your best. Now you will cut down that Necron just so that it does not bother us. And you will move into here, grab another cognition point and prevent any funny ideas from emerging in that Immortal's head. Now Manarius, what can you say about this console? That it's got hella Blackstone in it. However, interfacing with it unlocked a couple of other Necron Warriors tombs. Well, now we gotta kill them all? I'd say it's a brilliant idea. Will you shoot into melee? No. You will stay up, because you have a lot of physical armor. However, what we can do is we can grab at least one cognition point and move into melee range of this warrior. We should do some good damage here. Respectable amount. Mm-hmm. Another angle. Almost got you. We're gonna need something more potent. And we're gonna need to heal you fast. Grab the last 2 cognition points. Now, I should be able to cut you down. Blast you with a phosphor blast pistol. Ooh, that was a critical, very good. And we move a little away. Now we should be able to get all of them through the magic of the arc rifle. Not quite. Then this means we need to look at the situation from another angle. Like so. And now, again, first of all, see what you are all about. Physical armor, understandable. That means we are staying put here for now. Now, while we are at it, we'll blast you away. And we get out of dodge because I do not want to lose you just yet. Just around the corner. 4 damage, 2 damage. Acceptable. If we pop the Sanctus canister, this is gonna be just trading. Rather, this won't get us anywhere, so we'll just trade the cognition points in here. Here's the phosphor blast pistol to keep you down. And stay put here. Might as well put in some damage too. You're not averse to acid, are you? No, you are not. More Canatech scarabs. I see. Grab the other cognition point then. And stay where you are. Or maybe get closer to Monarius. And hope it all works out. We are losing a lot of Blackstone on this one. Well, first we pop this litany. Heal ourselves up to full. We grab the rest of the cognition points. How much health do you have? 5. Let's even the odds a little bit. 4. Pop the Sanctus canister. Get in melee. And get it twisted. We'll get you on your own turn. Now, do this. And heal up our newbie. Gotta economize a little bit. Anything you can do? No. So just move a little closer. You should be able to take down them on the opportunity strike. Like that. And hopefully this will take care of them too. It did. Certainly could have gone better, but at least we minimized the damage as best we could. The cohort defends the location of the lost Skitarii unit, enabling them to move the Oculus Topographis back out of the tomb and towards Skitarii lines. The troops and the valuable surveying device they escort are saved from perishing in the tomb of Agrelek. The squad survivors are back at our lines and the Oculus has been salvaged. We have been sent back in our exploration of the tomb of Agrelek, but not nearly so far as we would have been if the unit had been lost. Is the Oculus Topographis providing data? It is fully functional, although at this stage I can report nothing other than the tomb of Agrelek is huge. This shall be factored into future missions. Ensure I am apprised of further developments, Subdomina. Oof, 80. On the bright side, we should be getting some of it back. Another Benediction of Omniscience. The next energy attack will deal +3 energy damage. Another Litany of Electromancer to replace the one we have. Blessings of the Omnissiah, level 2. 6 cognition points. Ubiao sector located. Whereas the other tombs are sterile, this one is grossly fecund with a union of life and death. The first scouting maniples to enter are overwhelmed by the appalling stench. They walk straight into a charnel house. Biological remains plaster every wall and floor. Some creatures are indigenous to Silva Tenebris, but others are unmistakably human, presumably from the former colonists of St. Eckhardt's Hope. Their decay begins instantly as the sealed atmosphere of the tomb is breached. A metallic skittering heralds something even worse waiting in the tomb. In this pit of disease and death, even the mind of a tech priest is vulnerable before its horror. We're entering the leper colony. And there is the Skitarii Ruststalker. Melee unit, 10 health, 1 physical armor. Passive ability, gain +5% critical chance per attack done in this battle. Melee attack, single target melee attack, ignores armor, triggers an opportunity attack, and deals 3 to 5 damage to target. With an increasing chance to get a critical strike done in. However, seeing how fragile it is, I'm not sure it's good as anything other than melee support. As possible as that is. However, Leonardus, we need to do something about your upgrades. What do you have next? Escape. Avoid all opportunity attacks. +3 meters to movement. That'll be useful. And just for purposes of further defense, let's give you at least a Phosphor Blast pistol. Because you are all about physical damage, and I cannot abide that. Anything else we can give you? No, that'd be 163 Blackstone, which I would rather spend on someone else, hopefully. Let's see, 180 on Jeremiah, 198 on Manarius. Well, guess we are upgrading Jeremiah. Dead Analytics, +1 cognition point gained on killing a target. Very good. And I'm thinking we can also give you a scanner for that. Because it is just on cooldown, even though it's a rather lengthy one of 3, but we can extract a cognition point directly from a target. I suppose it does not need to be in melee range for that to happen now, does it? Now, if we look at our time, I think we can go for at least one more mission, and I'll need to call it for tonight. Now, what was it that I would like to get? We can also choose between either the Void Astronomer, or rather the Void Admiral, or the Lord Astronomer. Both of them are hard, however, the Lord Astronomer will give us another noise reductor, which is strictly better than the one we have, because if we look over here, that one comes with cooldown 3, and that one should be cooldown 2. Yep, strictly better. But it does take one more augment point to equip, so that's a fair trade-off. The Void Admiral, in the meantime, will give us Plasma Caliber. Fires in a straight line, passing through all units. Deals 5 to 7 energy damage to targets. Destroys 1 energy armor and 0 physical, but on the machine, Spear destroys both 2 energy and physical armor. 2 augments, 3 cognition points. Sanctus Canister. An upgrade of the current one we have. 2 cognition points. Cooldown 3, 2 augments. Plus 2, however, 1 tech priest of your choice, as opposed to this tech priest in particular. Once again, more of a side grade. Now then, maybe the Phosphor Blaster will be worth it, but, well, that remains to be seen. Damage sustained during warp transit forced the Caestus Metallicon to vent much of its fuel reserves. Quartermaster Rose suggests acquiring a supply of isotopic material from the tomb of Agrelek for use as fuel on the Caestus Metallicon. The Phosphor Blaster is tempting, however, it's 2 augments and 3 cognition. But it will be a decent AoE weapon, right? Plus reveal target statistics on shot. Maybe. Now this one will give us Curatio Mechadendrite. Just 2 HP heal on a cooldown. Oh, and also Skitari Ranger Alpha. Those I think are pretty good. Deathmark, Immortal, Flayed Ones, and Warriors. Maybe. Now, what else can we grab? Maybe an arc pistol. But we'll only have to deal with Acanthrites and Warriors here, so I think we can go for a quick one here. Might be a good opportunity to test out Skitari and Rust Stalker too. Magus, stable orbit achieved and maintained. My thanks, Quartermaster. I will remain in geosynchronous orbit for the duration of this mission. Fuel reserves calculated. Continuous orbit probable but not certain. Additional fuel acquisition recommended. Attention required. Troublesome news, Magus. The tanks are nearly empty. Supplies are low. Far from sufficient. Problematic in the extreme. How can our supplies be low? We only just arrived here, Quartermaster. Warp transit. Less than satisfactory. New report state cargo vehicle supplies vented to the void as a result of damage. Most unacceptable. Then what is our situation now, Quartermaster? Deploying armed force on hostile world is costly exercise. Logistically complex. Running costs for the Caestus Metallicon in orbit far from negligible. Crisis in isotopic fuel matter for the core reactors. Disappointment and frustration are flooding my neural vaults and require quarantining. I focus instead on a solution. Can you present one? The tomb of Agrolek contains strong traces of radioactive decay. Supplies of necessary materials present. Request acquisition before materials half-life is expired. More breaking and entering. The tomb of Agrolek isn't particularly welcoming, Magus. Are you certain it is worth the risk to go in? Our mission here cannot be fulfilled if the Caestus Metallicon has insufficient fuel to stay in a stable orbit. Very well. I hope the Quartermaster understands what missions like this cost. Cost of deployment less than value of resources acquired. Mission is mathematically justified. Them's the numbers, baby. Well, when you put it like that... So, find isotopic materials for the fuel. We gotta hit this one first, then this one, and that's pretty much it. So we go here, then we can go either point of interest glyph or glyph point of interest. We'll see how it develops from this point. Because we got us first battle. 4 Necron warriors to start out. Not too shabby. So Jeremiah and Leonardus lead the way. Monarius right behind you. Grabbing all 3 cognition points is always useful. And I think we can run up to... yeah, that one. He is the one that's gonna be attacking us next. So we go here. Spend 1 cognition point to get to you. And then we get it back with a scanner. Alright, we gotta be in melee first, so... oh, whacking you first. And you stay put. I'll be right back. Now, how about you, pretty boy? Energy armor. Okay, good thing we still have Xenorite microstubbers on standby. Also energy armor, I see. And I suppose we can simply run up to you. No funny business to you. Also only energy armor. I'll keep that in mind. Will you go down? You go down. Very well. And we get 2 cognition points out of you. We whack you a little bit. You'll shoot us back. We don't have any armor, so that's 4 damage. First Canoptech Scarab spawn. Anything we can grab? Not yet. We're gonna be deploying Saccharine Rust Stalker first, so... the Servitor it is. We get over here, we get us back some blackstone, right? No, wait, that one's not active, so that was a bit of a waste. However, can I do anything with that one? I don't think I can. Not yet, at least. In that case, goodbye. And move up a little more. As for you, I suppose I can shoot you with a macro stabber. You don't have any armor. That's 2 damage dealt, and you will be finished off by the servitor. You will be finished off by the servitor, right? You will be. Very good. Now be a good bullet catcher and take a shot or 2. 4 damage. Then I suppose... Oh, I accidentally gave you a macro stabber instead of an energy weapon. Nevertheless, you still have only energy armor, and your face looks very punchable. Like that. Now if we stay here, we should be out of range of their Gauss rifles. As expected, they're shooting the servitor. 2 shots, so it's gotta take. And the Necrons are becoming increasingly aware of us, which shouldn't be too much of a hassle. You are going down. And we are moving up. While we're here, grabbing the rest of the cognition points, and we're golden. Small step over here. That should be still not in range to shoot both of them, so we'll just go for this shot. Oh, and might as well deal you a little more damage, because I can. And might as well grab a little more blackstone. Once again, because we can. If we roll good, this should be enough. We didn't roll good, that was minimal damage. So, I suppose we're gonna finish it off with a macro stabber. We reduce the Tomb Awake level a little bit, and move up a little bit. Next time, however, we're gonna need to heal you up urgently. Three damage. Also 3 damage. Yes. Not deploying anyone else, thank you. We are good enough as is. I guess the scanner only works on beings that have cognition associated with them. Most unfortunate. Oh, was my service call on cooldown? I didn't check. Oh, might as well grab what cognition I can. And now we move into melee range. Or actually, first we go here. We shoot the Xenorite Macro Stabber. And now we get into melee range. And just so that you do not have any funny ideas... No, I don't think we'll use the Litany of Electromancer just yet. We'll save it for the next encounter, so... I'm just gonna whack you. And hope the opportunity attack gets you. It very well may. Like that. It was even a critical. The cohort's rat sniffers are detecting potential traces of the target isotopes. The trail leads through a half-collapsed series of chambers, crumbling under the weight of the shifted landscape overhead. It may be perilous to pursue, but it could bring the cohort to their objective more quickly. Take the dangerous trail, it's worth the risk. Take another way around, the mission will fail if the cohort is lost to the treacherous terrain. Survey the collapsed chamber before taking the route. It will not be quite as fast, but should mitigate the risk. I think we can take one awake level for now. The cohort sizes up the stability of the chambers ahead before proceeding. Their field engineering experience tells them which parts to avoid, and while they do not make very fast progress, they emerge on the other side of the collapse unscathed. Their thoroughness also turns up a cache of rare elements unearthed by the upheaval. What do we get? Another Curatio Claw, an upgraded version. In fact, 2 augment points, but heals 5 to 7 HP. Not too bad. That one worked out. Now, hopefully we'll get a healing glyph out of this one. There's the first awakening level. And we do. However, who will it heal? There we go. It healed the Tech Priest. Just as I had hoped. That one, rather. The more damaged one. A series of metallic archways of tarnished and brutalist appearance line the passageway ahead. They appear to have some function, but what purpose they serve in Agrolex's tomb is not apparent. Examine the first archway to see if it's a device, and if so, if it can be deactivated. Dismantle the archways as the cohort proceeds. Time-consuming, but safer. Stride purposefully through the archways, fearless as a true scion of Mars. They could be radioactive for all we know, so... curiosity. The first archway proves to be a form of energy projector, and the tech priests ascertain it can be overloaded with a simple bypass ritual. This tech rite causes the device's circuits to burn out, leaving the tunnel of archways harmless and demonstrating the supremacy of the omniscience sacred logic over the base cunning of the alien. Very good. And now, we can go all out. In this battle, that is. Cataphrone Battle Servitor armor not thick enough. Castellans proving equally ineffective. Must find weakness before we're... connection lost. It appears the Xenos form triggered a fragmented recording from Rezak. Indeed, it appears we'll have a tough time using heavily armored forces against the specimen. Maybe we can use their strength against them. Wise words, Dominus. I can't remember exactly what the Acanthrite is good against, or rather, what its strengths are. So gotta scan these 2 consoles, these 3, and then kill off the rest of them. Sounds easy enough. So once again, Jeremiah and Leonardus up front, Manarius backing them up, and we can deploy both Sicarian, Rust Stalker, and Servitor at once. But then again, we can hold off the Servitor for now, until we get up close so that it can prove more value. This is gonna be risky. Let's first of all get our cognition points back. Now we can move up close. 85 Blackstone. Out goes another warrior. Now can we... Yes, we can. However, I'd much rather pop the Sanctus canister and get into position here. Oh, actually, first of all, Phosphor Blast Pistol. What do we know? Aha! Also a very good shot. Now, we can cut you down. Almost. Also, activate our scanner. Finally it comes in handy. Now, Manarius, what can you tell us about this warrior? Physical armor. And that's the job for your arc rifle. Can you shoot it from this angle? You absolutely can. Now, if you can take him down in one shot, that would be much appreciated. You did! You did not disappoint me, and I'm thankful for that. Now, heal up Leonardus. Very good. And take up your position here. I'm thinking you might even destroy that Acanthite. No points to collect, which is unfortunate. Now Leonardus will get all of those cognition points back. Cut down that one so that it does not come back up. And I'm thinking he can scan that one as well. Physical armor 2. I need to be extremely cautious when dealing with that one. We'll trade 1 for 2. Well, the pings are on me because I did disable the streamer mode for this one. But hey, at least no one's around to see that one, or rather hear that one. 3 damage. 3 damage. Right as rain, as they say. Acanthite moves up. So there's another warrior. On the bright side, we can now lock him down in melee. And now we can deploy our Servitor, right in your face. And we can whack you immediately. Now how about you tell me what makes you tick? Energy armor. Very good. I will cut you down where you stand. Unicronian ape. while we are at it, we might as well. Or not yet. Let's get into a better position. Then again, it will damage the servitor too, so I'd rather get us over here first. We burn one cognition point, but we scan that one. Will the warrior emerge from this one? No, not yet, because my best guess is that the way is blocked. Still, here you go. Yes, it should also deal you a little more damage. And I will see you next turn. And with any luck, the Acanthorite will choose to shoot at the servitor. Now we do this. Very good shot. Now we come up and cut you down with a power axe. Oh, minimal damage, huh? Well, at least we stripped away some of your armor. Now, also acid, I see. Now we can cut you down. We absolutely can. Now you should be able to inflict some damage at least. Hopefully. And you... I cannot reach it this time, but I am still susceptible to opportunity attacks, so we'll delay your turn a little. So, physical armor, as expected. How much? That should be enough to take you down. And shoot up the console to reduce the awakening level a little more. Now if we can do the same to the rest of the consoles, after we scan them of course, that'd be very good indeed. Now can you cut him down? I think you can. And move up to this position just in case. And by just in case I of course mean so that we are prepared for the final Necron to emerge. Maybe 2 Necrons. We'll see in a bit. Yep, there's the warrior. Huh, I guess that was it. Didn't even need to kill that last one. The cohort locates a cache of ingots forged from a rare isotope by some unknown Necron method. They're able to take this rare bounty back to the tomb entrance for processing into fuel for the Caestus Metallicon. You have your supplies. Is the fuel situation improved? The fuel is good. The rest, not so good. I anticipate further requests for action in maintaining mission optimal supply levels. Undoubtedly, no army survives without supplies. Supply is not in the habit of walking into our hold. Then I am sure I will hear from you again soon, Quartermaster. That one went better than expected. Only 1%. And we got us a load of Blackstone for any further leveling needs. third level of Cant of the Craft. Prayer of Titanium, plus 3 energy armor for 1 round. And that is it for now. Now, before I forget, we save here. And, taking all of that into account, I think we can close it off for tonight. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you all tomorrow when we go back to Shadowrun Hong Kong.